What's up, everybody? How's it going? Life is full of harsh, uncomfortable truths. Truths that most people don't speak of, but truths that are very important to be aware of if you want to navigate this life correctly, if you want to be successful, if you want to be happy. I've been thinking a lot about this lately, especially as I approach the age of 30. I'm turning 30 in just a few months. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 most important, most uncomfortable, harshest truths out there. What better place to share harsh, uncomfortable realities of life than in this oh so beautiful, oh so comfortable Punta Mita, Mexico. Look at this beautiful ocean behind me, this beautiful jungle behind me, all these animals and everything. So without further ado, let's jump into it. The first harsh, uncomfortable truth of life is that nobody in this life is going to save you. If you've got dreams, if you've got goals, and I'm assuming that you do, nobody's going to give them to you. Nobody's going to genuinely help you achieve your goals, achieve your dreams. You are responsible for doing that. You have to go after your dreams, go after your goals. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about your dreams and goals. Everybody cares about their own dreams and goals. If somebody does help you, perhaps it's because you can offer something to them. But overall, nobody will go out of their way to help you. You have to do that. Internalize that. This is very important. You are the only person who can go out there and get your goals. No handouts are going to be given to you. Nothing's going to be handed to you on a silver platter. Now, this brings me to my second harsh truth, reality of life, which is that for everything in your life, bad, good, terrible, you are to blame. That's right. Every circumstance, every situation, everything about your life, you are to blame for. Now, of course, some of you are going to tell me, but Clement, what if I'm in a car accident and the other person was objectively at fault? Well, yeah, that's the exception that confirms the rule. But even there, you are the person to blame for how you react to this new life circumstance that you have. You are the only person who can decide how you react. You are to blame. You are to blame for whether or not you choose to open a door when another door closes. You are the person to blame for whether or not you choose to seek out new opportunities when certain opportunities fall apart. You are to blame. For example, you're a software engineer and you messed up a job interview. You failed the technical coding interviews as a software engineer. You probably didn't use AlgoExpert. You didn't go to algoexpert.io and use the promo code CLEM, CLEM, for a discount on the platform. You are to blame. Harsh truth number 3. Now, this one might be the harshest, might be the coldest, might be the one that gets the most pushback, but you know what that means. That means it's oh so very true. And this one is that everything in life is transactional. Everything. Not just business, not just commerce, but relationships too. Relationships, friendships, romantic relationships, familial relationships, everything is transactional. Now, what does that mean? That means that whenever you are doing something in life, the two parties at play are getting something from one another. They are exchanging something. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. A lot of people will immediately react like, no, friendships can't be transactional. Romantic relationships can't be transactional. You know, well, what's like, where does love fit into this? Where does true, friendship fit into this? And the answer is, it fits into this perfectly, but within the context of transactions. You have to accept that, like, everything is an exchange. And there is still beauty, or there can still be beauty in, transactional exchanges once you see them for what they are. And I think that, a lot of people get hurt in life when they realize this harsh truth too late, and they wonder, like, how did something happen like this? Like, how was this not as pure as I thought it was? And perhaps if they were aware of this harsh truth ahead of time, they would have been less hurt. So, hopefully you are kind of understanding what I'm getting at here, and hopefully you will think back to this lesson if you ever start to really encounter it. Once you really think about it, you see this everywhere. You truly see the transactions in every part of life, in all the small talk, in all the day-to-day events of your life. You see the transactions everywhere, and it actually kind of you know gives you a sense of peace and of like, oh, okay, this makes more sense. Anyway, that's harsh truth number 3. Harsh truth number 4 is that money does buy happiness. You've all heard the saying, money doesn't buy happiness. And I'm here to tell you that that's not true. Money does buy happiness. Now, of course, there are some caveats here. I think that money in general is it's something that has a lot of pillars to it. So, for example, there is financial happiness, there is health happiness, mental health happiness, and if one or multiple of these pillars is really doing poorly, then your overall happiness will suffer. That's why, for example, you can be wealthy but unhealthy, and you won't be happy. But that's not really what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is all other things being equal. So if you take two subjects with the same health, the same career prospects, or living in the same place, things like that, but one with money and the other one without money, you will very quickly discover that money does buy happiness. And again, we can go into the sort of nuances of studies like, oh, past a certain threshold, money doesn't really increase happiness, yada, yada, yada. I'm here to tell you that as someone who has experienced having little to no money when I was in my early 20s, and now a lot of money as I approach 30, I would take money any day of the week. And money definitely buys happiness and definitely makes life a lot more enjoyable, a lot easier. Harsh truth number 5, last but not least. This one is that the grand majority of advice that you will get in this life is going to be garbage advice. Now, why do I say it's going to be garbage advice? It's not because people are dumb or people give bad advice sort of naturally. It's because advice is naturally subjective. Okay? When someone gives you advice, they are naturally pulling into their own lives, looking at all the things that they regret having done or all the things that they think they did correctly, and they impart that advice on you. But that is based on their own goals, their own definitions of what they want in life, and their own definitions of happiness. And those goals, those definitions, very likely won't align with yours. They might, in which case you might be lucky and find on someone whose advice is actually relevant to you. But for the most part, human beings are different. We all have different goals. We all have different dreams. We all have different wants and desires. And so if you really think about that, most people's advice, unless we're talking about super generic advice like, take care of your health, which, yeah, probably applies to everybody, but most people's advice will not be relevant to you or will lack certain nuances that would make them suddenly really relevant to you. And it's important to be mindful of this when you listen to advice, because if you're not, you can honestly, follow really, really bad advice for your own life goals. The canonical example that I'll leave you with for that is, I can not count the number of times that I've been told, and what I mean by that is I've been told this so many times during my 20s, the number of times I've been told, work-life balance, Clement, relax, you're young, take it easy. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And honestly, that advice almost never applied to me. And I'm really glad that I basically ignored it almost every time that it was given to me, because if I hadn't ignored it, I don't think I would be where I am today. You know, I wouldn't be sitting on this gorgeous resort here in Punta Mita, Mexico, sharing these 5 very uncomfortable, cold, harsh truths and realities of life with you, but nonetheless, realities and truths. On that note, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it informative. Let me know what you think about these truths in the comments below. Let me know if you have another one. I'd be curious to hear, what is an uncomfortable reality or truth of life that I have not mentioned. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to smash the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already to the channel. Follow me on all my other social media. And I will see you in the next video.